the first month of the Islamic calendar, Muharram al-Haram. And in this month holds huge significance. I was only made aware last night, so someone wanted me to make a speech, so I wasn't fully prepared, but I'll share what I know, and we will wrap it up in the next 10-12 minutes, inshallah, just before Maghrib Azan. As you are aware, this month, not only is this the first month of the Islamic calendar, but it also marks a huge event that took place perhaps in the history of humanity. Not just the history of Islam, but the history of humanity, because there are non-Muslims, scholars who have quoted, scholars and Orientalists and so on, who have spoke about the greatness of Sayyidina Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala anhu. In this month and during these days that we are currently experiencing, as in the first 10 days, is the time when Haq and Batil, the two, truth and falsehood took place between the Prophet ﷺ's beloved grandson, who was Sayyidina Imam Hussain, the beloved son of Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and the beloved son of Hazrat Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha. Their beloved son, who gave made a huge sacrifice in the battlefield of Karbala. This was a battle, a fight between Haq, the truth, and between Batil, falsehood, between the cursed Yazid, who, as we know, was a drunkard, life was all about fitna, fasad, and so on and so forth, and who was wanting to become the new Muslim leader, the new Amir al-Mu'mineen. However, Hazrat Imam Hussain, being the son of Hazrat Ali and the Nawasai Rasul, would never accept such, allegiance from somebody who, was not following the Sharia and not following the Sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he did not pledge allegiance to or Bai'at to this Bai'at is slightly different from the Bai'at we obviously mentioned, but not to pledge to that individual because of his harkat, his lifestyle, his way of living and so on, because he was very disrespectful. Because he also had in his mind how his great-grandfather was treated by the Muslims and so on, so he took revenge. Yet he was the son of a great Sahabi, was the Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala. But obviously with his habits and so on and so forth, he wanted to obviously forcefully take Hazrat Imam Hussein's allegiance so that he may become the new leader. However, Hazrat Imam Hussain was never accepting that. Like I said, being the son of Hazrat Ali, being the grandson of Rasul, would never accept, because they were on the Haqq, they were the Ahlul Bayt al-Athhar, they were from the blessed family, the Ahlul Bayt, and they will never be accepting. So the whole story, those stories, is very, very long, very detailed. We wanted to structure our methods in such a way that our next 3-4 weeks, that every Sunday gets an opportunity to talk about this great sacrifice. So I'm just going to give you a very small insight into the sacrifices that Imam Hussain made for you and I. The great scholars have said that had it not been for their sacrifices, then we wouldn't be sitting here. Put it this way. We would not be sitting here. And perhaps we'd be living a life of non-Muslims. There would be no azans in the masjids. Hazrat Imam Hussain has saved Islam. Had it not been for their sacrifice, today me and you, God knows what we would be. We could have been anything. Munafiqs, atheists, agnostics, God knows what we would be. Yet their son is being still in debt to them up until this day, until the day of Qiyamah. Had it not been for their sacrifices and what we owe to them, it's unbelievable, those things. Today I'm just going to talk about the tragedy of Karbala, the Prophet's grandson struggle against the oppressive tyrant Yazid. I'm not going to go into great depth, I'm just going to give you a quick insight about the jihad of Hazrat Imam Hussain, the sacrifice he's made. The tragedy of Karbala was an incident that took place in the year 61 after Hijri, yet it is still fresh in the minds of the Muslims today. You may wonder why. Perhaps because Hazrat Imam Hussain was the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ, or because the forces of oppression were very brutal. Perhaps because it was a great jihad. Perhaps it taught the Muslims to be determined to establish the truth and never compromise with the forces of evil. This is exactly what the Imam Hussain did. He did not make sacrifice. He did not compromise his deen. Even to the state where all the members of his blessed family were martyred. This is probably the greatest martyrdom ever recorded in history. Okay, even to the last stage, to the last second, for, again, not to pledge allegiance to this evil tyrant Yazid, who happened to be so-called Muslim, yet he was obviously munafiq. He was not Muslim because of his adat, his habits, and so on and so forth. Even to such an extent, those Hazrat Imam Hussain gave up his life when his head was beheaded by one of the forces of Yazid. You know, he was still reciting the Quran, as we all know. Many poets express that through poetry, through Naat and Manqabat and so forth. Those 72 members of his blessed family, including mainly men and children. If I'm not wrong, Hazrat Ali Asghar, the 6-month-old child, when he was brutally attacked, killed with those arrows that were coming in his direction. A 6-month-old child, imagine those, how much we love our children, those who are blessed children. Okay, when they're such small at the age of 6 months, how dear they are to us. How we love them, and we can't even remain without them for even seconds. We want to see them as soon as we leave work, come back from work, we want to see them. Like when Hazrat Imam Hussain had to pick up his own son, who was martyred by all these arrows from the evil Yazid's army. When he took his baby into the tent to present it before his blessed wife, that it's recorded that when he came out, that he took so much grief, gham, as we say in Urdu, that when he left the khema, the tent, his beard hair had turned grey. They were white, that's how they were black. But when he left the khema to go back on the battlefield, they say his hair turned white or grey, shall we say. Why? Out of gham. You know, when someone passes away in our family, we take a deep breath sometimes, depending on who's passed away and how the incident has happened and so on. It's very deeply. Also, Hazrat Imam Hussain was, besides being a blessed, the Nur of the Prophet, but he was also human. He had human traits. So he came out and his beard had turned white. Yet he continued his mission. He did not compromise, even because of that. He lost his 18-year-old son. He lost his cousin. He lost his 6-month child, brothers, so on and so forth, until 72 members of his family were martyred on the plain of battlefield of Karbala, until he eventually gave up his own life. Yet he still did not compromise with Imam Hussain. Also, we have a lot to learn, so much lessons to learn from this one Iwaqia that, every year we hear about it. Some points that we hear, they just don't, come into your mind or you remember. But these are some of the ones. For example, namaz was something that he did not, as Imam Hussain didn't forget. Just because he was on the battlefield, just because his family were being killed, he didn't give up his namaz. He continued. In fact, he was killed, he was martyred whilst in the state of namaz, if I'm not wrong. So all of these compromise, all of these sacrifices goes for who? For you and I. So that the religion of the Prophet does not just, people don't say in late history, oh, so and so gave up his religion, his grandfather's religion, and pledged allegiance to Yazid. He did not compromise. So we learn in life also, how easily we compromise our religion sometimes. When we have to do certain things at workplace and things, we could compromise. Okay, just because we're living in England doesn't mean that we can't keep a beard, or we can't wear a hat and walk on the streets, or we can't go around giving dawah. That doesn't mean, it doesn't stop us. You never compromise your religion for anything. Never compromise your religion for anything. Never just say, oh, because so and so is doing it, we shouldn't do it. Oh no, never compromise. The Imam Hussain left a beautiful message for us of sabr and patience. Patience, because his family members were being sacrificed. He continued praying. He didn't forget his salah. And we sometimes obviously we slip. I myself, Zohar time came, I was busy doing something else. I prayed it, but very late in the time. Allah forgive me, but I had to do qaza. But look, in the battlefield, members of his family being slaughtered, left, right, and center, bloodshed everywhere. Like, they continued to pray when it was time to pray. So there are so many lessons also from Karbala that we can learn. I want to just touch the surface. I was supposed to read all this at you, but I thought, we just picked up a single point from it that we can, inshallah, improve on. Next time, inshallah, we get opportunity, we'll move on and talk about other aspects of this great, huge event that took place in the history of Islam. And Hazrat Prophet has mentioned many narrations about how he used to often kiss the blessed neck of Hazrat Imam Hussain because they were beloved to him. Hazrat Imam Hassan used to always kiss on his lips and he was poisoned. And Hazrat Imam Hussain used to often kiss on the neck because he knew what exactly is going to happen in the year Hijri 61, that his beloved grandson will be martyred. He used to often kiss him. And he loved him. He used to say, the famous narration is, Hussainu minni wa ana min Hussain, meaning Hussain is from me and I am from Hussain. That's a big statement, though. A very, very deep statement to mean I can't comprehend what this means. But Hussain is from me and I am from Hussain. And so many scholars have gone into deep, versions of this particular verse to say what this actually suggests and what it means. Also, Hazrat Imam Hussain was very beloved to Prophet. Just as we love our family members, both the grandsons were beloved. All the grandsons were deeply beloved to Prophet. And it's through them that the Nasr of Prophet continues even till today. The Sayyids that we have today, the true genuine Sayyids are from Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain. Through Imam Zainul Abidin, who was the only surviving member of Karbala at the tender age of 9. They were very ill and left in the tents, but he was the only living. So even through Imam Zainul Abidin, we have the blessings of having the Sayyid, the descendants in the Arab world, in the subcontinent and around the world. So Allah Ta'ala, bless those Sadat and maybe sit in the company of such Sadat and maybe learn from them as well. Those who time for Maghrib obviously is fast approaching. Tonight, 7:13.
17.
So those two, inshallah, we take a lot of sabr from here, a lot of lessons, and one thing that we should take from here, we take from this is, inshallah, we have sabr in difficult times, and we also adhere to our namaz and try to practice our obligations 5 times a day, and to also recite the Quran, inshallah. May Allah Ta'ala with the sadaqah of Hazrat Imam Hussain, the sacrifice of the 72 blessed household members. May Allah Ta'ala may accept our hazrin today. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala forgive us. May Allah forgive all those who have passed away. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala allow us to learn lessons from such beautiful events, inshallah, implement them into our lives.
Mashallah. Brothers, beautiful and very informative. I just wanted to add a couple of things. That in Karbala, the first martyrs the name of Hazrat Hussain, जो बेटे थे वो Abu Bakr or Umar or Usman. This was how much love they had for the Sahaba, the Ahlul Bayt and Sahaba. If the other people, the other groups are saying this now and they're saying cursing them and things like that, why would Hazrat Hussain have a son called Abu Bakr and Usman and Ali? So these were the Qur'an, nobody's mentioning there. So as Sunnis we need to understand that as well. And also, basically the Prophet when came to Hijrah, when they done Hijrah, when they reached there, the Jews were fasting on that day. And the Prophet asked them why, and they said because Musa al-Islam was freed from Pharaoh, Bani Israel, and we are doing shukr of Allah. The Prophet are more closer to them because they were a prophet and they were my brother. So then they told the Muslims to fast 2 days just to make difference from the
Just touching on from the past. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, 9th or 10th or 10th and 11th.
9th, 10th or 10th or 11th.
So I think Thursday, Friday if you want to fast. You can do Friday, Saturday, whichever way you want to,